Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about obligate acaricides. Acaricides are chemical agents used to control mites that damage plants. Obligate acaricides are pesticides that target mites with no effect on insects or mainly target mites. Facultative acaricides are pesticides that mainly control pests or diseases with additional activity against mites. Today we will focus on obligate acaricides. Obligate acaricides come in various types, each with unique properties. Some are selective against mite eggs, nymphs, larvae, and adults. Within a certain temperature range, some acaricides become more effective as the temperature rises. They are called positive temperature coefficient acaricides. Negative temperature coefficient acaricides are those that become more effective as the temperature drops. Acaricides can be classified as follows based on their acaricidal properties. Acaricides that are highly effective against mites at all stages and insensitive to temperature changes. For example, pyridobin, fenpyroxamate, bromopropylate, bifenazate, and phenazaquin. Acaricides that are less effective against adult mites but can disrupt their reproduction. For example, hexythiazox, spirodiclofen, etoxazole, and spiromesifen. Acaricides that are less effective against mite eggs. For example, popagite, azocyclotin, phenbutatin oxide, cyflumethofen, and cyanopyrofen. Positive temperature coefficient acaricides, for example, amitraz, semiamitraz chloride, propagite, azocyclotin, and phenbutatin oxide. Negative temperature coefficient acaricides, for example, chlorphantazine. Now, let's take a look at several key acaricides. 1. Pyridobin. It delivers a strong contact action against harmful mites with no systemic activity. It is effective against mites at all stages, fast-acting with long-lasting residual effect, with its efficacy unaffected by temperature changes. Besides, it is highly effective against spider mites, rust mites, gall mites, and tarsonemid mites. However, it is toxic to fish, bees, and silkworms with significant resistance issues. It's now commonly used with other acaricides. 2. Fenpyroxamate. It mainly works through contact action and is effective against mite adults, nymphs, and eggs. It can directly kill mites at higher doses while inhibiting molting or egg laying at lower doses. Fenpyroxamate can be used to control mites on fruit trees, tea trees, cotton, vegetables, and other crops. 3. Bifenazate. It is a new selective acaricide with contact action but no systemic activity. It acts by inhibiting mitochondrial energy transfer in cells and is effective against mites at all stages, with a residual effect of about 14 days. At the recommended dosages, it is safe for crops and highly effectively against all types of mites that affect agricultural production, with low risk to parasitic wasps, predatory mites, and lacewings. 4. Hexythiazox. It is a new acaricide with potent contact action, strong penetration, and no systemic activity. It is effective against mite eggs, nymphs, and larvae, with minimal effect on adults, while inhibiting egg hatching in female adults exposed to it. It is effective against spider mites, but less so against gall mites. It has low toxicity to humans, livestock, birds, and bees, but it is toxic to fish. Optimal efficacy is typically observed after about 10 days, with the residual effect lasting up to 50 days. 5. Spirodiclofen. It mainly works through contact and stomach actions, inhibiting fat synthesis in mites with no cross-resistance to all other acaricides, exceptional efficacy in killing eggs, and good contact action against nymphs and larvae. While it may not kill female adults quickly, it has a strong sterilizing effect on them. With a broad acaricidal spectrum, it works well against spider mites, rust mites, and gall mites. However, it should be avoided during the flowering period with a limit of 2 applications per season. 6. Etoxazole. Etoxazole is a selective contact acaricide that inhibits the embryonic development of mite eggs and the molting process of nymphs. It works against eggs and nymphs, but not adults, and has a strong sterilizing effect on female mites. It is highly rain resistant with a residual effect of 50 days and effectively controls all types of mites. 7. Propagite. Propagite has contact and stomach activity with fumigation effects at temperatures above 27 degrees Celsius. It is effective against adults, nymphs, and larvae, but less effective against eggs. It is more effective at temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius with a gradual decline below that. It is highly toxic to fish and may cause phytotoxicity in hot, humid conditions. 8. Azocyclotin. It is broad-spectrum organotin acaricide with strong contact activity against mites. It is effective on nymph, larvae, and adults, toxic to summer eggs, but ineffective against hibernating eggs. It is fast-acting with a residual effect of 20 to 30 days, but is only effective at temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius. It can damage citrus shoots in high heat and should be avoided on melons. Azocyclotin should be applied to fruit trees at least 21 days before harvest. 9. Amitraz. Amitraz is a broad-spectrum acaricide with contact, antifeedant, repellent, and certain systemic and fumigant effects. It can kill mites that affect agricultural production and ticks on animal surfaces with good efficacy against hemipteran pests. It is less effective at temperatures below 25 degrees Celsius. 10. Clofentizine. It is an embryonic development inhibitor and a highly effective, low-toxicity broad-spectrum acaricide. It has strong contact activity, highly lethal to mite eggs, and is also lethal to larvae and nymphs, but is nearly ineffective against adults. However, it does inhibit the egg-laying capacity and hatching rate of female adults. It's especially effective against apple spider mite winter eggs, but less effective on rust and gall mites. It typically starts working in 7 to 10 days, with peak efficacy in 2 to 3 weeks, but its effects can last up to 40 to 50 days. It's a negative temperature coefficient acaricide that is less effective above 25 degrees Celsius and most effective at 15 degrees Celsius. That's it for today. You can refer to more sources to learn more about the characteristics and applications of obligate acaricides. Thank you.